Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to another edition of Mr. Parker's Neighborhood. And today, no, I can't lie about it. Today is a special. Now we have a legend in the house today. Before I go any further, first of all, my guest today is Mr. Dello Thedford. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I am fine and really delighted to be here today. I'm ecstatic. Thank you, sir.
And just to get people to understand, what young people, who you're looking at right now is a legend in the music industry, not just gospel music, like music, period. From writing to singing to directing to composing to put. You know what, Mr. Thedford, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from? Are you from St. Louis originally?
I'm from St. Louis. Lived here all my life. Went to school here. A product of St. Louis Public School. I did my undergraduate work at Maryville at a place called St. Louis Institute of Music, and finished my undergraduate work at Lindenwood College and did graduate work at Southern Illinois University. And I have been in the field of education for over 53 years.
We see, look, and you look good. Yeah. You look good, Dr. Thedford. See, you stand the test to say, hey, black don't crack. You're doing good, Dr. Thedford. You're doing
good. Thank you.
Now, as far as I said, you went to public schools in St. Louis. Do you come from a small family, Dr. Thedford?
No, I don't think it's a small family. I come from a family of 8 children, and yeah, it's a large family, but a very loving family. Thank the Lord.
Yeah. And look, out the 8, what number are you?
I'm number 2.
Okay, you know. So here's the question I've been wanting to ask. So it's Joe, then you?
It's Joe, and then it's me. Everybody think it's me, and then it's Joe, but it's Joe. And if Joe was here, he would let you know proudly I am the oldest. But it's Joe, then it's me.
Okay. So now, like I said, you come from 8, like I say, and everybody has from what I know, everybody has an inkling of musical ability.
They have somewhat of music ability. Probably the one that has the least amount is my brother Charles.
Okay.
And as you know, we're all members of the Shalom Church, and he is the usher of all ushers.
And I was wondering, like, oh, that's why Charles is ushering and not in the choir. Oh man, and like I say, and like you said, your family has been tight knit and has always been is involved in some aspects of giving back, and now that comes from your mother and father. Were they in the music as well, or what did they do?
Yeah, actually, my father was my first piano teacher. My father played. He was not a great musician, and we belonged to a very small church, and he was the musician of that church. And he taught me, I started playing around 4 or 5. He taught me a song on a Saturday night. And that Sunday I played it in church. And then from that point, it appeared that weekly I was learning something. And before you knew it, I was actually the church pianist, where he had been the church pianist.
Wow.
And that was at a very, very early age. Probably church musician, and again, it was a small church, so it didn't require the kind of musicianship that the churches require now. But it came from him. It came from my father. Yes.
Okay, man. See, I did see. Learn something new. 4 or 5, you started playing piano.
Yes.
That's why that's why we call you Dr. Thedford. So I say, and that's as growing up and being a part of that, and then going to school. So in school, as far as activities on did you do music in school and in grade school and high school?
Yeah, I was very fortunate. When I was in elementary school, I was in something called the St. Louis Boy Choristers, which was a group of very, very talented young singers. And it was singers, young male singers that was chosen from the music teachers in the city. And we met twice a week at O'Fallon High School, which is presently now Gateway High School. And the director of that group was a lady named Dr. Helen Louise Graves. And a lot of what I do now, I learned as early as probably I started singing with that group maybe when I was in the 4th or 5th grade. Okay. And from 4th or 5th grade, I stayed in that group until 7th grade. And I had what you call the Kamiata voice, which means that the voice started changing. I could no longer sing soprano or alto. And when I got in high school, there was a group called the Festival Singers, which were talented high school singers that came from all over the city under the direction, again, of Dr. Helen Louise Graves. So I've been in well-organized music probably all of my school life. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then after high school or during high school, when did you start, I guess, your love for directing, or as far as I guess when you were doing it at the church, you started that you were actually teaching and directing then?
Yeah, well, we were talking, I want to go back just a little. We were talking about high school, and something that I need to mention was my high school music teacher was a lady named Ruth Green. And Ruth Green was also Donny Hathaway's music teacher in high school. In those days, she taught at Vashon High School. And that's where Donny Hathaway, many people think that Donny went to school in Chicago or somewhere, but Donny went to high school here in St. Louis at Vashon High School. And Ruth Green was his music teacher. She was my high school music teacher. I went to Northwest High School, and they closed Vashon. And when they closed Vashon, that was located in the Leclerc building where Harris Stoll is. Right. They built the new Northwest, and she was transferred to that school, and that's where I attended high school. And that's how I had the luxury of studying, and I learned a tremendous amount of music and choral music from Ruth Green, and we were very close. In fact, when she died, a lot of her personal music was left to me. So I really wanted to mention that.
Thank you for mentioning that, because now you helped clear up a story that my father he went to Vashon for a minute, and then he went to Sodan, and that's one of his because he has a love for music, and that's one of his things. He said, "Yeah, I was at school with Donny Hathaway, yeah." He wasn't got no Vashon. He was at something or something. So you've helped clear that up now. And
Yeah.
Daddy, I'm sorry. I believe you now. I believe you with Donny.
Yeah, Donnie was at Vashon, and Ruth Green was a stickler that you would learn legitimate music, where Donnie could read music. He could play classical music as well as he was gifted as playing the rhythm and blues, but he was a very well trained musician that went on to the school in DC. Yeah.
And like you said, and again, now that you mentioned that in singing the song for you, there is a piano piece that's in there that I mean, like you said, it's a classical piece. It's just the way. I like
Absolutely. Those descending chromatic scales. You're
yes, sir.
exactly right.
Yes, sir. See, hey, I learned some stuff. Hey, I've been paying attention, Dr. Thedford. I've been paying now, like I said, so coming through St. Louis and coming through high school. So at that point in time of growing up, besides Donny Hathaway, you were in the midst of a lot of the up and coming St. Louis artists that people don't like, Fontella Bass and all. I mean, you again, you say you've been there 53 years of doing this. You have been there, and like I say, I've seen you in over 20 now. dealing with, I mean, the artists that have come through. And like I said, when you started actually deciding to write music, how old were you then?
Oh, I probably 14.
Wow.
14, at 14, I had my first minister music job.
Wow, okay.
At the age of 14. And I was minister music at the Progressive Baptist Church at the age of 14. And that's when I had an opportunity to operate with a dull knife. Yes, but I started writing at that early age. And all of my writing, my musical writing, has always been, it wasn't that I was inspired by something. I would write when there was a need for a specific piece. That's how I would write. If I needed something, I couldn't find it, then I'd just sit down and write what I needed the piece of music for.
Now,
and I started that because I wanted to do my first Christmas concert was when I was 14, where I remember the people saying, "Who is this little boy trying to tell us what to do? We're going to wear white blouses and Christmas corsages, and you will have black folders." If I couldn't find the kind of music I needed for Christmas, I'd just write it.
See that, and once again, that's because you are Dr. Thedford. No,
no, all praises be to God that he gave me that gift. Thank the Lord.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I said, it's and these are things I'm saying because we at Shalom know and have known, like I said, God bless and rest in peace, Dr. Wallace, But when Minister Ken Wallace came to Shalom, we didn't know then. We knew that he was up under your tutelage and everything, but like I said, and me being as crazy as I am and thinking sometimes, the first time you actually came as minister of music at Shalom, and you did we did the prayer. I forgot which one it was, but you were doing it, and I sat back and I said, "That's where you got it from." Cause everything, I mean, from your hand movements to get up the stand to Ken's been doing Dello all this time. But I mean, it's just been wonderful. And like again, like you said, knowing what I'm learning and what I learned before, because when I first met you, the first time I met you was at Morning Star. We were at Morning Star, and it was I forgot what concert it was. And when you came in, it was crazy because it was you, Quincy Fielding, Malcolm Speed. I mean, it was like the who's who in music. We're like, wow. Wait a minute, wait, what? Oh man, this is gonna be good. And it's just the fact of from watching you guys come together and the way things, it just made it seem right that this is how St. Louis is supposed to be. This is how gospel music is supposed to come together, to where everybody is doing it together. And again, we have some behind the scenes pieces where we know it's like, yeah, this ain't. Y'all like, wait a minute, why y'all acting like y'all don't like each other? And here we are in church together. But that's another part of another story. But all I'm saying is, you were ahead of in my mind, you were ahead of most people at that time when it came to music. The songs you were, like I say, songs that you came up with and you were teaching that were your songs are still to this day. We're talking 1980, 1970 to the day, still are being sung across the country and are just like you said, they have purpose. They're not songs that were just your songs have purpose, and it's great. It's great to hear them because again, at that point in time in life, it touches where you are, and it's like, and like at church now, when we do God, God is great, and it's like, okay, we like, all right, go Dello, go ahead, don't do it, Dello, go. And it's like that we feel that love for the song. It's just not a song to be done. There's a love for it, and I was want to know, as far as all the songs you've ever produced, written, is there one that stands out that is just that's your baby that you have ever written?
You know, the piece that really stands out, and I'll tell you how I even wrote that piece, is Mary Had a Baby. That piece is it has been used at so many places. And I wrote Mary Had a Baby because when I was teaching at Roosevelt High School, we were invited to sing with the Bach Society and the St. Louis Symphony. And my choir had to sing a piece alone. And we did the other pieces with the Bach Society. And I had a young man that was an AIT, that's an artist in training student, that was studying with opera theater. This was after I'd had Jermaine. Okay. Well, there was another young man named Mark Kent. And I said, I was trying to find that entire summer a piece that would demonstrate the voice that this young man had as a bass and choir to do at Christmas, and I couldn't find one. So it got close to the time. I said, man, you better sit down to the piano and write this piece. And that's why I wrote Mary Had a Baby, was for my high school choir and Mark Kent. But it has the piece really took on its own legs and has been performed at many, many, many Christmas concerts across the country, and it has been used as the finale piece. And I thank God for that particular piece.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, now speaking of that piece, also rest in peace. That was Chris Verses. That was his.
That was Chris' piece. That's exactly right. That was his piece.
That was Chris's piece. But you heard it. You just knew. Oh, here you go. Here we go. I could just Mary had a baby.
Yeah.
Born in a manger, oh, yes, oh, Mary had a baby, Mary had a baby, oh, 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 yes, oh, Mary had a baby, Mary had a baby. Oh, 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 yeah. What did they call him? Oh, what did they call him? Call him. Jesus Christ.
I mean, like I said, it's been. I mean, I'm telling you, Dello, I've been watching and in everything. I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, I say, as you just said, mentioned artists in training and people like Jermaine Smith. I mean, you have also helped a lot of young singers in St. Louis learn how to be not only singers but professional artists and use it. I mean, we talk now as far. Can you name a few, just a few of your students that have stepped out there and are known not only in St. Louis but around?
Yeah, there is, of course, the premier is Jermaine Smith, who has traveled all over the world and plays the part of Sporting Life in Porgy and Bess for most major opera houses around the world. There's a young lady named Kendall Gladden that plays the role in Carmen.
Okay.
All over the world. There was Mark Kent there's a young man right now by the name of Chaz Ali Williams, who's in Europe right now, doing really well in the opera arena. That many of y'all do not know that Marquise Murphy was my student at Central Visual and Performing Arts. And Marquise has been traveling all over the world singing, being a part of this three tenors. It's doing really, really well. I can go on and on, but those are names that just stick out just readily.
And the reason I asked
I
about
want to say one other person too is Leslie Johnson. Without Leslie Leslie Johnson has really he was a student way before Jermaine and all of them.
Right. Now, like I say, and then also, I mean, speaking about the students, I said that's one thing about it. But again, even when when you became a part of Shalom and we started doing the concert, the Joe and Ethel Thetford concert, when we used to do those for the kids to bring them out and help them, that was another way of where you were opening doors for young people to come out and be proud of what they are. And in the midst of all that, we found a young man named Curtis Spence Jr.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A talent, a force to be reckoned with. One of the most talented young men that I have ever come encounter with. And that I am very, very pleased to work as now as a co-worker, excuse me, as a co-worker, but what an incredible gift to the body.
Yes, sir. Yes. I mean, those, like I said, those are just some of the things that you've done and some of the people. Getting back to you, Dr. Thedford, as far as I mean, like you said, you have your degrees and you're doing music from 14. In your 20s and 30 period, Dr. Thedford, you were really then, were you finding your groove, or were you accepting that you had music out there that people were loving to hear and wanting you? I know you were in high demand as far as, can you come to our church and teach? Can you come here? Can you do that? How was that part, the 20 through 30 year period? How was that for you?
Yeah, that was a pretty busy time for me. A pretty busy time. And actually, I could be busy now. I just physically, I can't do it. But I was on the road at least twice a month. I was doing some kind of musical workshop across the country. And that was a joy for people to just want to sing my music. That was a joy. It took me from coast to coast. It took me before high men and for wonderful church and aggregations. That was a wonderful time of my life, and I remember it, but I can no longer keep that kind of schedule.
I mean, like I said, again, it's just a fact of like I said, knowing where you are now, and how many actual groups. Matter of fact, we'll go back. When did you first put together the symphonic harmony, the symphonic choir?
Well, I really put the symphonic choir together. I think it was right after my mother's death.
Okay.
That we put the choir together, I said I would do a recording of the music in honor of both parents.
Okay.
And from that concert, we decided as a family that we would give scholarships in memory
Okay.
of both of my parents. And that group has probably been in existence now maybe for about 25 years.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and we have just come back together.
Okay.
Our debut was this past Saturday with the Harmonies, the Ambassadors of Harmony, which was a really outstanding concert. Ambassadors of Harmony and the Legend Singers and the Symphonic Gospel Choir. Now, during the pandemic, I lost a lot of singers. So I had to literally put on a call for people that would be interested in singing all genres of sacred music, because you know that we're just not a contemporary church music group.
Yes,
But yeah, that coming back together has been relatively exciting. No, it's not. It has been exciting, and we're now in the midst of preparing for our major concert, which is going to be December 3rd of this year.
all right, all right. And speaking of, I say, being the way and what music that you like to teach and sing, music, gospel music. At this stage in time, Dr. Thedford, it ain't the same.
Oh, it's not the same. It's not the same. No, it's not.
I mean,